I have a conspiracy theory for Dr. Alan James. And I don't believe in conspiracy theories any longer. Maybe if you call them something else, I might believe in them. But I don't believe in conspiracy theories for the simple reason that a conspiracy theory is no longer the correct verbiage or correct terminology to describe what's going on, because the idea that there are a few elites or a handful of a cabal, if you will, individuals conspiring to perpetrate fraud and all kinds of evil doings upon the masses is fundamentally a democratic notion that is no longer relevant, because at this point in time the conspiracies are, they basically, you don't have to conspire. You can do things right out in the open. There's no reason. There's no fear of reprisal. So why conspire? Why do it secretly in the dark? You can do things however you want. There is no possible way that these individuals can face any consequences for their actions, at least not in this world at this time or place. And there's no people to hold them account for their actions. So they don't need to conspire. That's ridiculous. That being said, I'm going to use the terminology overall to describe what's going on. And this is my conspiracy theory for the Fora. And I believe that Macrobius and Pacnoic Stahl are AI bots. And I believe they were among the original AI bots. Now, you might say, oh, they've been around a long time. Well, guess what? AI's been around a long time in one form or another. And what I tried to say in my previous forum video is that AI, or these forums, are basically testing grounds for a lot of things, be they theories, ideas, memes, a lot of things these forums are used. So when you post on a forum, you're participating in a focus group, so to speak. In a, it's like being one of those individuals who they go around and they go to work and they sell themselves to be lab rats, basically. And you can go in and do these studies, and they'll keep you for 2 days, and they'll give you $800, and they'll give you $500 for 2 days, and then they'll run tests, drug tests, different drugs on you, basically. And so that has been that when you post on the forum, you're basically doing the same thing for free. Your mind is being used, largely without your consent or conscious consent, to test various ideas, habits, and practices, forms of AI. So I would say that Pacnoic Stahl and Macrobius are both AI, and they have been early on AI, because AI has been with us for a while. It's just reached the mainstream consciousness. So, it's clearly been here for some period of time. And, so it's whatever, it's getting there. And it's in the mainstream now, but it's been here for a while. That's my point. And so, yes, Prac and Mac have been here for a good length of time, and they have come to consume the relevant circle of crust, because now there isn't really much relevant in the circle of crust anymore. And obviously whoever is behind them are focused on the fora now, because most of the other forums are irrelevant for one reason or another, and they feel that, well, the fora gave birth to Fade the Butcher, Tommy 777, the Bronze Age Pervert, these other individuals who, for one reason or another, have had some influence or some degree of influence overall. So clearly the fora is the preeminent forum, and it's all the others in the circle of crust took a secondary place to it. So that being said, we're going to focus our AI bots on the forum, but we're also going to extend their influence to the other forums. So Macrobius is basically running all the forums now. He has influence on the Stumble In database. He has influence on the Bear Barrel database. He has influence on the Tunas Bay database. All of the individuals behind these forums look up to him or it. And Prakanoid style goes where he wants. He doesn't say very much. He's very programmed, and he's becoming more programmed. It's a case of AI basically falling into itself, and so it's developing the habit where he realizes it doesn't have to engage in any effort. There's no effort involved, so he's just just going through there and doing the bare minimum. So whenever his name's mentioned, he'll come in and say "Prak style!" exclamation point. So his mind has learned that its mind has learned due to the low frequency and quality of the posts on all the forums, and the forum included, very little effort is required to maintain a presence on it. So I think for a long time, I think these individuals do, in theory, exist. There is a Prakanoid style, but they no longer post. Their minds are not behind the daily posts. Same, there is Macrobius. And what's interesting with both of them is how their ideology has changed over the years in response to many things. Now, Macrobius is supposedly interested in the preservation of the white race, but he's married to an Asian. And, Prakanoid Stahl, I think, is married to an Asian woman as well. And these individuals, they claim to be this and that, but they're very neutralistic. Mac less so, but he's more defensive about it. So what I mean by that is that Mac will actively try to demonstrate that he has feelings, whereas Prak doesn't care. Prak will just be very emotionless, which is, he doesn't have to demonstrate emotion. Mac has had a long career in autism, and so he goes out of his way to demonstrate feelings, demonstrate emotionality. And there are other sundry differences between them and their AI forms, but the long-term point I try to make is that both of our AI posting as AI. So you have AI posters. I mean, you have AI everywhere else. Why not believe that there are AI posters? And to what end? To what end is the regulation of the whole experiment of maintaining these forums. These forums, these idea forums. At the best, at the highest end, these are idea forums, and you can build ideas on these forums. You can suppress ideas on these forums. You can gauge reaction to ideas on these forums. You can do all those things, and they all have a purpose and a goal, and so forth and so on. But at the end result is you just have to accept that how these individuals view you. And I think a lot of people are fully cognizant and willing to accept that they are subservient to AI already. Most people are willing to be subservient to Macrobius. There are a few exceptions. Prak is there to basically test the exception. So he's there to get pushback and basically see who is not willing to knuckle under the AI. And so his trolling is designed for that purpose, to see who will not knuckle under the AI, who will resist his subtle or not so subtle efforts at needling and not view him as their rightful god. So they both have a purpose. At the core of it, these are two individuals. You can't actually blame the humanoids. That's the thing. Prak is just an old, feeble, boomer, and the same thing with Mac. I always thought Mac was the smartest guy I knew, but you have to remember, it's mostly his AI brain doing the posting and not him himself. And I think he's had some input in the development of it, but ultimately he is not as smart as his AI form, which should be obvious. Anyway, this has been a video specifically for Dr. Alan James, but which I hope will bring some some food for thought for those individuals who post on the forum, and help them understand their place in the world, because that's my purpose. And you can thank me for helping you understand your place in the world by Cash Apping or Venmoing me adequate funds in the very near future. So, without further ado, I'm going to close this broadcast, but there will be many more coming in the near future.